aspects of changing your life is number one, you got to realize you're always going to need to force yourself, push yourself to do what you don't feel like doing. That's number one. Number two, you're going to have to repeat that over and over and over and over and over again. And finally, when you have a bad day, you must practice self-compassion, because the major mistake that I see people making is, number one, they're waiting around to feel like it. And number two, the second that they do one bad day or they make one mistake, you chuck all your positive progress out the window and you go back to the way that you always used to do things. And one of the greatest skills ever is to go, okay, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I forgive myself, and today I'm going to do a little better. Like, I can't say this enough. Stop waiting. You could get hit by a bus next week. Do not waste your life waiting, worrying, or wishing for things to change. You gotta want it enough to do the work. One more thing that you can use. I call it the 5-second rule. Your mind can process a facial expression in 33 milliseconds. It can move pretty damn quick. The other thing that it does very quickly is, if you have one of those little impulses that are pulling you, if you don't marry it with an action within 5 seconds, you pull the emergency brake and kill the idea. Kill it. If you have the impulse to get up and come dance while the band is playing, if you don't stand up in 5 seconds, you're going to pull the emergency brake. If you have an impulse about, you were inspired by somebody's speech today, and you don't do something within 5 seconds, write a note, send yourself a text. Anything physical to marry it with the idea, you will pull the emergency brake and kill the idea. Your problem isn't ideas, your problem is you don't act on them. You kill them. It's not my fault. It's not anybody's fault. You're doing it to yourself. Stop it. I'm counting on you. 1 in 400 trillion. You got stuff to do. And it's not going to happen in your head. So I want you to practice this today. When we go off to party, thank God it's coming soon, because I think we all could use a cocktail. I want you to practice the 5-second rule. You see somebody and you think they have that impulse, they look interesting. Walk over there. You were inspired by somebody and you have a request, make it. That's why you're here. Experiment with it, and I think you'll be shocked about what happens. And one more thing, I want you to know that everything that I do, whether it's the radio show or the television show or the book that I wrote or the column, it's for you. And if there is anything that I can do, if I can do anything to make you do the things you don't want to do so you can have what you want, I will do it. But you need to walk over, you need to open your mouth, and you need to make the request. You got it? You're tired, you can still go to the gym. Even if you're annoyed with your spouse, you can still speak in a manner that's loving. Even if you don't feel like doing that hard work, you can still push yourself to do it. Your feelings aren't a choice. Your behavior and your thoughts are always a choice. There are 3 lessons I learned this year, which was one of the hardest years of my life, and I want to share them with you because I don't want you to have to experience the hardest year of your life to learn these lessons. These lessons are so important. Lesson number 1, your life is always trying to teach you something, and it's moments of friction and discomfort that have the greatest lessons of all. And if you don't learn it, life is just going to get louder and louder, and eventually it's going to hit you with a sledgehammer, because lessons repeat until you learn them. Lesson number 2 from the hardest year of my life. Your excuses are bullshit. Behind every excuse is fear. That's all that's there. So you can disappear any excuse and you can address any fear with action. And number 3, change is not easy. Change is very hard. That's why so many of us struggle with it. But even though change isn't easy, it is always worth it, and you're capable of it. So, learn the lessons, drop the excuses, and embrace the fact that change isn't easy, but it's worth it, and get going. It is seriously the simple secret to getting a reservation at the best restaurant, the best beach chair, getting into the best club, or getting a paddle ball or pickleball court at a super busy place. Go early. Go early. Nobody goes early. If you go early, you'll have the whole damn place to yourself, and you'll have the pick of everything.